behind closed doors in the doll, it's a snake pit. Egos, agendas, power, it's all sacred. No one can know. If you don't have money, you don't have fame, you're already losing, get out of the race. Nobody questions, nobody cares. If you don't make a sound, they won't know that you're there. If you don't have money, you don't have fame, you're already losing, get out of the race. Nobody questions, nobody cares. If you don't make a sound, they won't know that you're there.
My name is Tony Fagan. I'm the director of Tallaght Community Arts. Tallaght Community Arts is an arts participation organisation which has been in existence for 25 years. It was founded in June 1996. Tallaght Community Arts is a key anchor tenant at South Dublin County Arts Centre, and we have an office in this building, a studio in this building, and we use some of the art spaces which we rent. We also have a making space which is some distance away from here, where we create and build materials for some long-term projects. We work across South Dublin County. Tallaght is one of the suburbs in South Dublin County. There are over 80,000 people live here. We have a very, very high proportion of people who come from different cultural backgrounds. For example, 13% of people in Ireland come from elsewhere in the world. 35% of that 13% live in South Dublin County. Tallaght Community Arts has a number of programmes. One is a Double Take Studio, which is a studio for disabled artists, visual artists, who come on a weekly basis to practice their art. We have another theatre ensemble called Doors to Elsewhere, who meet on a weekly basis on a Friday morning. We also have Street Arts Academy, which is a hip-hop academy primarily rooted in dance, but not solely so, and that meets regularly during the school holidays because it's for young people between 11 and 19 years of age. We have a one-act play festival for secondary schools called Act Up, where the schools choose a one-act play of a number of plays that we offer, and the young people do everything. We have another annual initiative called Creative Campus, where we have a curator who works broadly within the visual arts, works with graduate students from the National College of Art and Design, and works with young people from secondary level schools, some of whom may be exploring an interest of going into the visual arts for third level education. Tallaght Community Arts also develops site-specific performances. That's performances and projects that take place outside of the conventional art spaces of galleries and theatres. We have a very long relationship with the Pearse Museum. That was a very radical school in the early part of the 20th century, run by Patrick Pearse, one of the signatories of our Declaration of Independence. So in 2015-2016, to mark the centenary of our bid for independence in 1916, we worked in the museum with 35 young people over 2 years to recreate the last open day that the school had in 1914. So that took place in the open air, in the walled garden of the museum, and we were very honoured to be invited to perform for the President Michael D. Higgins and his wife, as part of their 1916 anniversary visits. Two of my colleagues, Jennifer Webster and Jenny MacDonald, have evolved a women's collective called Solo Sirens, an ensemble that devises work, and they made a piece in 2019 called Falling, which was an exploration of women's voices and women's stories that don't often get told. We often work with very small children. We work with young people in school, we work with youth groups, we work with adult groups. We have a long relationship with the local community choir, which is Kingswood Community Choir, and that was a choir that was set up around the idea of health and mental well-being for people, and there's also an adjacent youth choir that we work with.
The purpose of the studio is to provide a professional arts space, an art studio, which is facilitated by professional artists who provide a range of specialised supports for adults who live with a disability. The artists and creatives who attend the studio range in age from 18 years to 80 years old. Each individual would have a variety of additional needs. The studio is in its 11th year. We have 2 other professional artists who are very specialised in the area of working with people who have additional needs. We currently have 9 sessions running over the week and have 80 plus regular members. The last 2 projects that we created, Crust and We're Still Here, were powerful arts pieces made by the artists who are claiming their rights in their communities, in the workforce, and in their chosen lives.
Last year I had to put up with the lockdown. The art I'm doing is stained glass, doing it technical and well designed. So I just like to brainstorm through the whole process.
I miss not coming here.
Yeah,
I really want to come here.
I know.
I miss this the most.
I like to meet the government. I like to say that I'm delighted I got back to my friends.
My name is Jennifer Webster, and together with my colleague Jenny MacDonald, we are the theatre facilitators with Doors to Elsewhere. So Doors to Elsewhere is a theatre ensemble for adults with intellectual disabilities, and we meet every Friday morning, and we've been running now for over 10 years. Together we devise our own theatre productions, and in the theatre productions can include dance, movement, mime, acting. Our participants also engage with designing our set, so really we all come together and create the work from start to finish.
We do bits of everything like acting and singing and dancing and theatre. It's an action-packed Friday night fun workshop!
I kind of find it interesting because I love drama. I love drama, singing and dancing.
I do singing and I dress up, as always.
Tallaght Community Arts is publicly funded by the Arts Council of Ireland nationally and by the local authority, South Dublin County Council Arts Office. I think one of the challenges that we have is that there isn't a culture of sponsorship or business or individual giving within the sector of community arts or participatory arts. Most of that kind of funding goes to the major arts institutions in the country. I think it's partly also because we have a very, very small base of rich multinationals until very, very recently. And then we receive project funding from a number of social intervention agencies that might be connected with health and well-being, that might be connected with housing. One of the challenges of our funding structure is that because we're funded on an annual basis, it's quite hard to strategically plan ahead and know that if you're planning for something in 2 or 3 years' time, that actually you can guarantee that you're going to have that financial funding there at that moment in time. So we kind of live in a slightly financial precarious position by being on this annual funding structure. I think there are some changes afoot now, and there's a possibility that our sector will be able to move into probably biannual or triannual funding. Tallaght Community Arts is organised on a day-to-day basis in the following ways. There's myself as director, we have a part-time administrator, and then we have a freelance producer consultant. The 3 of us work with a team of freelance artists and arts facilitators. Tallaght Community Arts has a board. Currently our board is made up of 8 people, and their responsibility in terms of governance is to be the guardians of the vision of what Tallaght Community Arts as a participatory arts organisation can be, to ensure a continuity from one executive director to another. They employ me as the director, and of course then I employ other people to do the work that needs doing to deliver our programme. They approve the programme each year and the annual budget, and they work with me to ensure that we can realise our vision and ambitions in that, or we have to take very judicious decisions about what we can't do because the financial resources are not there. They also have a legal requirement, which is to ensure that a financial audit of the organisation is done on an annual basis, and that we report to Companies House because we're a registered charity, and we also report to the Charities Regulatory Authority, which makes sure that as a charity we subscribe to the values of being a voluntary sector charity, which means there's probity, there's transparency, there's integrity of how we use and dispense public monies. We have an excellent relationship with our local authorities, primarily via the Arts Office, but not exclusively so. We work with the Housing Department, and we work with the Community Department, and we work with the Environmental Department. We're involved in a national initiative called Creative Places Macmillan. Those departments in the local authority are supporting us to deliver a programme with a community which has kind of been neglected somewhat culturally in the past. I meet regularly with the arts officer, Orla Scannell, where we talk through our specific programme, but how we kind of work together and fit into the cultural strategy of the Arts Office. There isn't a national association of community arts or arts participation in Ireland. Some of the networks we're involved with are as follows. We're a member of the Wheel, which is a very large national organisation which I suppose looks after as an umbrella organisation for all those people and organisations that work in the voluntary sector. So that includes the arts, it includes health, it includes mental health and well-being. We're also a member of the National Youth Council of Ireland, which both creates opportunities for our young people here in South Dublin to be able to be involved in national projects with other young people, but also to connect with young people internationally. We are a member of INA, which is the Irish Network Against Racism, which is a very important body in the country. We've created, in tandem with a number of other organisations, theatre organisations, who specifically create work with people with intellectual disability, a network called Constellation of Practice. And what that's been able to do is to